list of, do you have like a favorite
Do you have any men out there?
Clint Eastwood was an icon from the past. He was a great actor who played the tough guy in movies such as the Dollars Trilogy, the Dirty Harry series, and many more. He found great success, and he went on to become a seasoned director, directing movies such as Mystic River, Letters from Iwo Jima, among many others. But many people don't know what Clint went through to become the man that he is now. In today's video, we'll examine the life of Clint Eastwood, how he became a Hollywood legend, the troubles he went through, how he became a sensational actor and an award-winning director. From mourning the death of his father to becoming a big success in Hollywood, this is the story of Clint Eastwood. Early life. Clint Eastwood was born on May 31st, 1930 in San Francisco, United States, to parents Ruth and Clinton Eastwood, called Samsonite because of his size at birth at a hefty 11 lb. Clint was brought up alongside his sister Jean and was raised with English, Irish, Scottish, and Dutch heritage. In the early 1930s, the family moved several times because of his father's job. His father worked in manufacturing management, and his mother got a clerical position at IBM. However, they finally established in Piedmont, California. Just like many other students, Eastwood faced academic challenges in school, and he was also a troubled youth. He was in the Piedmont Middle School, where he had to repeat a grade, as well as the Piedmont High School, which he was expelled from due to his bad behavior. He then moved to Oakland Technical High School, but it is unknown whether he finished from there.
And I love this story, and they did a great job. It really is a slap in the face to professional actors, is what it is.
Clint was never really interested in academic work. Rather, he worked many low jobs, such as lifeguarding and caddying, which helped in developing his early work ethic as well as personality. In 1951, during the Korean War, Eastwood was drafted into the United States Army, despite the heroic combat image of a soldier he portrayed in many movies. During the war, he held only a lifeguard position at Fort Ord, California. However, that didn't mean he had it easy. His military experience was a very terrible one, where he acted as a bomber who later crashed into sea. This crash made him and the pilot of the plane swim to land for safety. Clint was later discharged in 1953, a turning point in his life that led him to Hollywood stardom. Acting career. Clint Eastwood's acting career began somewhat serendipitously when he was spotted by a Universal International camera crew at Fort Ord.
Judging material, finding material that's new and interesting for yourself, that becomes new and interesting for the audience.
Despite initial skepticism about his acting abilities, Universal offered Eastwood a contract in April 1954, and he began taking drama classes. His early roles were minor and often uncredited, but they provided valuable experience. He appeared in films like Revenge of the Creature and Francis in the Navy, and made his television debut on Alan in Movieland in 1955. However, Universal terminated his contract later that year. Eastwood continued to struggle for substantial roles, securing parts in small TV segments and low-budget films. He was finally lucky to be hired by CBS in 1958 for a show that needed an actor, for Rowdy Yates in the show titled Rawhide. This was a highly publicized role, and it marked a breakthrough into the public domain. Rawhide finally was extremely popular and became known, but filming was very tough. The show reached its highest ratings in 1960/1961, but the show went down and became less popular to the extent that it was pulled off the air in 1965. This made him try to get himself involved in directing, but he had little success in the area.
You just watch people, and even now, that one reason I keep working is I figure every picture I learn something on, even today, so it's always fun.
From an acting perspective, Eastwood's career transformed in 1964 when he became a protege of Sergio Leone in filming A Fistful of Dollars, which was the first of the Dollars Trilogy. The portrayal of the man with no name or the anti-hero by Clint Eastwood lit up the European screens and brought a change in direction for the upcoming films of the Western genre. The trilogy was not shown in the United States at first, and it was not until 1967 that it was very popular there as well. Although some of these movies received mediocre responses from the American critics, these films further established and complemented Eastwood's persona on the silver screen.
There were a few westerns that had been made by Italian companies.
This earned him some popularity, and after this, Eastwood came back to America with Hang 'em High in 1968, which was proven to be very profitable, but he varied his role in Coogan's Bluff and Where Eagles Dare. Further, Eastwood also explored the musicals with Paint Your Wagon, but it was not as successful as many movies of that period. During this time, Eastwood started to develop long-term working relationships with some of his collaborators, for instance Don Siegel, with whom he was to work for the third time. He also founded his own production company named Malpaso Productions. All the conditions that defined Eastwood's further successful activity in the film industry has been created during this period. Directing career. Clint Eastwood began his directorial career with Play Misty for Me, 1971. This was a psychodrama that involved a disc jockey being stalked by an obsessive fan. The movie garnered much appreciation and paved the way to the discovery of Eastwood as a director, capable of creating suspense and mastering the lead performers. After the success of Play Misty for Me, Eastwood started shaping his director's career with the help of other interesting movies. In High Plains Drifter, 1973, his first Western as a director, Eastwood starred as a mysterious stranger who protects a town from criminals, blending moral and supernatural themes. Despite mixed reviews, the film was a box office success and demonstrated Eastwood's ability to infuse Westerns with his distinct style. Eastwood's collaboration with actress Sondra Locke began with Breezy, 1973, a film about an unconventional romance that, despite not achieving commercial success, showcased his versatility in handling different genres and tones. He solidified his star status and directorial abilities with The Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976, a Western that was widely acclaimed for its deep character study and rich storytelling.
Yeah, I have my own production company, Bill, and I'm going to do a film after the first of the year.
In the late 1970s and early 1980s, Eastwood directed and starred in a variety of films that further expanded his directorial range. Bronco Billy, 1980, was a comedy drama that reflected Eastwood's fondness for Americana and self-referential storytelling. Although not a major commercial success, it was well received critically. Honky Tonk Man, 1982, and Firefox, 1982, showcased his willingness to tackle different genres, from heartfelt drama to Cold War thrillers. Among the very many movies that he was involved in during this period, he was able to both direct and act in the movie Sudden Impact, 1983, which was in the Dirty Harry series. This film had the famous phrase, "Go ahead, make my day," that was popular in later years. Critics appreciated the film's more Batman-oriented direction and darker thematic overtone regarding true feminism than previous films, making it the second most successful of the series. In Pale Rider, 1985, Eastwood went back once more to the Western style, but with aspects of moral gray and theme of supernatural, which was as popular with critics as with the general public, which strengthened his status as the king of the Western. The director also enjoyed success in two other films, Heartbreak Ridge in 1986 and The Deadpool in 1988, where he also depicted action-oriented roles, along with a distinct characterization of characters. As a director,
You let him get away from you?
See, that's what I want to talk to you about. He's feeling real bad.
the late 1980s saw Eastwood return to making directorial efforts, while the early 1990s saw him go back to making more personal and smaller films. Only few films had theater success. For instance, the biographical drama Bird, 1988, about the life of jazz musician Charlie Parker, was highly praised by critics and received the Golden Globe Award for Best Director, but had rather weak box office results. Pink Cadillac, 1989, is a comedy which did not receive great reviews or perform well in the box office. Clint Eastwood's life now. After a series of movies, Clint Eastwood is now 93 years old. Many would think that he would retire, but Clint is even more active in acting and producing as ever. In 2023, he directed Juror Number 2, a legal thriller film that shows that he has not left the directing business, despite the fact that he has slowed down in terms of the films he directs compared to the early days of his career. It shows a change of pace and scale in terms of choosing fewer projects to produce and focusing on each movie he would be making with greater meaning and effect. Legal problems are not exempted, as Eastwood participated in some legal issues, and is also wise and cautious in his business and personal affairs when it comes to his icons. He has focused on cases where his image has been used by companies without his permission, proving his concerns regarding his public profile. However, it is important to note that Eastwood is quite an enigmatic personality.
And a lot of people can't say that, and I feel very blessed because of that.
Who prefers to keep to himself, even though he is a famous actor and director. Even though he has had multiple romantic relationships and a hidden daughter, he likes being private and would rather act or direct than to get in on gossip news. Clint Eastwood's story is one that portrays that even if you start bad, you can still do something you love and excel at it, and you don't need to set any retirement date for yourself so long as you enjoy what you are doing. Clint is 93 now and is still actively involved in what he loves doing. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, do leave a like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next.